Hi, I'm Jeanne Fiorini. Thanks for being here at the Tarot Tips. Today I'd like to talk about something that we're not always consciously aware of, but I think it's important to think about. We all have assumptions and belief systems that we work from, whether it's, with how I interact with people or how I go about my work or what I think about myself. Assumptions and belief systems, but these are really important if you're going to be be conscious of what they are when you're working with your tarot cards. So I'm going to propose 3 different questions today. There aren't right or wrong answers to them. It's really I'm presenting them or commenting on them as food for thought, something for you to come up with your own conclusions to. Okay, because belief systems, when they're unconscious, can sometimes create problems. So assumptions and belief systems that we know we hold are going to provide us with more clear answers, not just at the tarot table, but with life in general. But let's stick to tarot just for today. So, question number 1. Where does the information in a reading come from? So I'm going to throw out a couple of things I've heard along the way. Different people have different ideas about this. Some people believe that the information in a reading comes from spirit, either from their guides, with whom they are well acquainted, or from some sort of spiritual realm. Some people believe that they're tapping into source, that the tarot cards enable them to connect with underlying truths. Okay. Some people believe that we contain all the answers inside of us, and that the tarot is a way for us to become aware of wisdom, knowledge, information that we're not consciously aware that we have. So that would be more of I'm tapping into a larger or different part of myself. That's different from spirit guides or from source. And then I always say tongue-in-cheek, maybe it's the tarot fairies. These are questions about how does tarot work, that it's good to have some idea in your own mind about what you feel is at work there. Okay, so the first question, where does the information in the reading come from? Again, come up with your own conclusion or belief system or assumption around that question. Question number 2, are there right or wrong solutions to any problem? Is there a good thing to do and a bad thing to do? Is there a correct path and an incorrect path? What you think about that question is going to determine how you read your cards for yourself, as well as if you read cards for other people. And, these questions are, I think, important regardless of how you use your cards. But, am I looking for the right answer? What happens if I make the wrong move? Okay, so this right and wrong issue, I think, is important to be thinking about in terms of how am I going to interpret the information that comes across in a reading. Is there a right or a wrong answer to any problem? Okay, or a right or a wrong path or decision. Okay, the third question is something I've touched on in other videos, but I'll mention it here because it's part of this assumption and belief system idea. Are there certain questions that we shouldn't ask the tarot? Are there some things we should just stay away from? And if so, what are they? What are the definitions of things that we shouldn't be looking at the cards to answer for us? Again, people have different thoughts about, I'm not touching that. Okay, I've got a few. Every once in a while somebody will ask them to tell me about their death, and it's like, no, I'm not touching that one. But somebody else might be perfectly comfortable with that question. So are there any questions which you think are either inappropriate or that as individuals we really should not be addressing the tarot? Okay, so that's just a short little video today, but you know, gives you some things to think about. It helps to crystallize what we're doing at the tarot table and why we're doing it. And I think that's really important. Okay, thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time.